Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando, he's standing by with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Charles. And welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Dolphins right now have a time of possession advantage, but it has not led them to taking control of this game. The Oilers, though, are still right in this game and will certainly be looking for a way to pull this one out in the second half. So that'll do it from here. Let's go back down to Miami with Brandon and Charles.
All right, Larry, thank you. A fairly tight game here as we get set to resume play in this second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Oh, he bowls over him. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 17 that time. And that's good for a Miami first down.
Well, that's the desired outcome coming out here in the second half of being able to run the football and establish a little bit of pace and maybe even a bit of dominance at the line of scrimmage. And they want that to continue. Way too early to think about this being ball control time. But the way they're running it, you got to think they may want to continue that and see if they can go ahead and grind their opponents into submission. But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. They'll set up to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They'll set up a throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the defense will get... And now off to the races down the right side. The 20. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. So this defense clicking early in the year, week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization made a concerted effort in the offseason to improve this defense. I have to say they like the early returns.
Point after try forthcoming. The rain making this treacherous, but the extra point is good, and with it, it'll give them the lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Look at the spin. Spinning again. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now a play fake here on first down. Deep drop. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by David Anderson. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40. A sea of Dolphins there that time in on the tackle.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
They'll look to throw. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. And the Dolphins getting set to go here. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Get your quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
He'll drop to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he's brought down after a good game. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
Going to throw right side here, complete. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Now back to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. They'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. It'll go as a gain of 10 there. And the Dolphins have a first down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of Central Casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
The speed, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, You light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here at 2nd and 12.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game. But here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little.
And he's going to be sacked back on his side of the field at the 44. Lawrence Timmons in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down.
All right, here we go.
They're going to look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And now out comes Houston. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Back to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. This will be fielded at the 17. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40. The big man, Jarrell Casey, in on the stop.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Now a handoff here to his running back. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
The play clock's running down. They'll drop to throw. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
They'll set up to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Miami. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the 4th quarter of play. And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone.
We got three, fellas. We got three. Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw here. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him. You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
They come out here in the eye.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And they'll go on the ground. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just...
And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Their dangerous wide receiver from 3 yards out. And the Dolphins have taken the lead here in the 4th. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route. Ordinarily, it's probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. They'll set up a throw. His pass caught at the 4. And he is not going to make it. So they won't be able to move this lead up to a touchdown as it'll remain a 5-point ball game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
It's a gain of 21 that time, and that'll be good for a Houston first. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle, because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. They'll give him 8 on the play, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy on the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check.
And this is taken in at the 5. A huge play there for Houston. And even 40 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays.
And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. It's their quarterback. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And his guys have taken the lead here in the 4th. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion.
Let's go! Blue 90!
They'll look to throw. And he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good, and they add on to their 4th quarter lead. So that effort gives them a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And out come the Dolphins now. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And he comes back with one complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. So an excellent throw and an excellent catch there.
Zone coverage, which means you just have to find the open areas in between defenders. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Partner, nothing complicated here. This is just a pretty simple drag route.
You're exactly right, Brandon. Instead of throwing it downfield, they just throw it underneath and let the receiver do the work.
Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
A nice gain of 21 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Play clock winding down. Now back to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And eventually brought down, but it's near the 5 at the 6. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up first and goal.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on the...
And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Jurrell Casey in there to get him for a loss of 5.
Well, in my time in football, I've yet to see a playbook that draws up offensive plays designed to lose yardage. A running play loses yardage on first down. They try and throw it, take a sack on second down. What can the offensive coordinator come up with here on third down?
An extra DB defensively here. Big stop needed on 3rd and goal.
He may be a blitzer.
They're going to look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
Well, you talk about clutch right down the pipe, and this game's all even here in the 4th.
And he didn't leave much doubt there, did he? Good snap, good hold, and that one was dead center.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Back to throw here. He's got time. He's going to air one out. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A huge play there for Houston. 55 yards. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, what, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving day. You know, when we get together this year, when the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like. Like they're drawing them up in the dirt, and so far it's working for both of them.
So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. They've got a first down in field goal range already. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. A 6-yard touchdown run. And his guys are going to take the lead.
And there's the go-ahead touchdown. And so likely we'll kick an extra point. But to me, I'm looking forward. Special teams now with your kickoff, and then your defense, that's where the pressure shifts.
Yeah, because there's plenty of time left on that clock. Anytime you're over a minute in the NFL, there's a chance. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Time for this defense now to get back on the field. And they're just trying to keep him out of the end zone. Obviously, a field goal does no good in this situation. So what's the appropriate amount of pressure defensively, Charles?
I think he sent a little more pressure than what is normal. If you normally want to send a 3-man rush, maybe you make it 4. If it's 4, maybe you make it 5. Anything to make sure that he can't just sit back there all day and find a target. And then you tell your secondary, play your normal coverage, and maybe an extra step or 2 back.
Yeah, be careful that nothing goes over the top. And they're going to speed things up here. He'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
All right, here we go.
Back to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And quickly, they get to the line. Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. So the game-sealing play from Josh Norman. What a big one that was.
He's a guy that loves being the center of attention. And I think to play that position, you have to have that feeling because oftentimes you will be isolated out there against some of the best the game has to offer. And how about him finishing off this one with a game-clinching interception?
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Ten yards still left on second down. Shift together here from the D-line. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Now the Dolphins are going to take another timeout here. That'll be their second, so one more chance to stop the clock here. And we'll be back. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He's back to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
So here we go now. An extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down.
But, partner, anytime someone tells me that fundamentals are leaving the game, I'm going to show them this play because they couldn't get to the passer. So what do you have to do? Get your hands up in the passing lane, and they batted it away on a 3rd down attempt.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. They go down to a knee, and the new campaign off to a good start. It's a win here in Week 1. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. And, partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, Week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for our visitors, it was a hard-fought game, and they'll exit 1-0 as they win by a touchdown. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to New England to take on the Patriots. Meanwhile, for Miami, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. And with that, we sign off from Miami.